people who were adopted as teens, what advice would you give to someone considering to adopt a teen?
I was fostered from being 13. I would say, patience, reassurance and encouragement were what helped me the most. I remember having this fear that they would give up on me, and they kept not only verbally reassuring me that they wouldn't but did things to show I was staying there, like redecorating my room in my favorite color, and saying I wouldn't have taken the time to do this if I wanted you to go. They showed me stability and I'd never had that before. They were in my life even after I moved out at 18 until they sadly passed away last year when I was 28. They always expressed how proud they were of me and I'd never heard that from an adult before I moved in with them. Edit 1. As this is causing some confusion, I had one foster parent, a foster father. Also, be kind to each other, there's already a lot of negativity in the world. Thank you all for your well wishes and kind words, it's very heartwarming. Edit 2. Thank you for my very first silver kind stranger.
I was adopted by my best friend's parents at 18. My biological dad died and my mother was hooked on drugs when she told me she didn't want to be a mom anymore. The best advice I can give is just to treat adopted children, of any age, like your biological children. Also, don't refer to them as the adopted one to others or brag about the good deed you did. Try not to force them to talk to you about their past and what they've been through. My adoptive parents still don't know a quarter of the things I've seen, experienced, and I feel it's better that way. If they want to open up, they will. Just make it known that you love them and are here for them.
I was adopted almost 7 years ago at 13. This might be cliché, but I would say just give your kid time to adjust. I really appreciate to this day that my adoptive parents didn't expect me to open up to them right away the second I was living under their roof. They didn't force me into the mold of what they believed their daughter should be like, they let it happen naturally. Eventually, you all find things you enjoy and bond over together and it all works out. They knew patience was key. I still remember the day I legally changed my last name to theirs. I'll carry the looks on their faces from that day to my grave. One of the happiest days of my life, for sure. I was kind of adopted when I was a teen, by my uncle, and I have a little bro who was officially adopted by him as a teen. He was adopted out of the foster system. You need to go into it ready to do the hard stuff and with no intentions of giving up. Teenagers are already pretty formed humans and already have a long history which has shaped them. Kids from the foster system can have years of shit that they need help with. It's not unusual that they'll test you. My little bro did something that is apparently quite common with foster kids, which was when it was pretty much guaranteed that he was going to be adopted, he started to act out a bit and kind of push back against that security. You have to just keep going forward at that point. Don't lose your shit over setbacks. Show them that you're sticking around. You need a whole lot of patience, you need to take things slowly, listen to them, you need to give them space sometimes. My uncle has just treated me and little bro the same as his bio kids, there's no difference between any of us.
Make sure you really want to adopt a child. If there is even a slight doubt, or have other factors that's somehow forcing you to do so, do not fucking do it. You will make both you and the potential adoptee's life a living hell. The only real reason to bring a child into your life is the desire to rear someone with unconditional love.
I was adopted as a teenager and the best memories I have are from open communication. My parents adopted me and a sibling and we were both teenagers. They had an open communication rule, regardless of how bad or good, we could talk to them about anything. We grew up in foster care and were always mistreated. When we met our new parents, they treated us like humans. They cared about our needs, immediately introduced us to their family and took us on their family vacations. It made us feel like we were wanted and we never wanted to leave their home. After some back and forth, they asked us if they could adopt us. It was the greatest feeling ever. Treat your adopted children as your own. Involve them, talk with them, simple necessities are crucial. Express your love and never give up on them. We lose our biological parents for many reasons and have been through a lot. We have ghosts and skeletons in our closets, and with a kind, loving parent's help, can overcome anything. Good luck, and I hope the very best for your new family. Edit. I was 13 and sibling 15.
I'm a little bummed that there's no comments on this post. I work at a youth shelter that has a population predominantly middle schoolers and up, and God, they need so much love and help and guidance.
Late to the party, adopted at 16, surrendered to the state. The family that adopted me set some very expectations day one, and we never had to talk about it again. They were never pushy but patient and supportive, largely indirectly through their actions. I can't thank them enough for that. It's been mentioned a lot on here, consistent stability and structure did me a world of good. It was by no means regimented, but far from what I had grown up accustomed to. You won't realize it now, but the little things mean a lot. I cried every night, alone, in the shower when my stepmom would change out my towel in the bathroom, because the idea of having more than one was unimaginable to me.
I hope this gets more answers. I want to adopt a teenager at some point. I am still a teenager myself, so that won't happen for a minute, but I'd love to hear some stories.
My wife and I worked at a residential treatment center for at-risk youth. The majority of the teens were adopted, many from Russia. It was absolutely the most difficult job I've ever done. I like to think that we made a difference in helping those kids love themselves and find confidence, but at the same time it's so hard to see how some of them gave up. Before working there, I really considered adopting a child at some point in life, but sadly this experience scared the shit out of me and changed my views drastically on so many levels. We ended up having 2 kids of our own, and I could never imagine my children having to go through what so many of those kids endured.
Not me. But my parents did adopt a 12-13-year-old several years ago. Be patient, they have likely had a shit life so far, moving from place to place. My sister used to carry her valued possessions everywhere with her because in foster homes they would get stolen if she didn't. She would have hoarded some things and had some bad manners. Generally be patient, affirmation and shit works. I'll have my parents do an edit later. Make sure you thoroughly vet the kid and his/her background and habits. I was a crazy fucker when I was adopted and really feel bad for my parents and their families for my behavior lol.
My friend was adopted as a teen, and she hated how the adopted family made her refer to them as mom, or say that she was siblings with the biological children. She hated it because they made her do it straight away, before she felt comfortable with them.
The teen is going to be different from you. They will have a different customs and outlooks on life. You can respect theirs but don't try to completely change them. I was fostered into an LDS home when I was 15. I am so grateful they didn't force their beliefs on me, and it taught me a lot about being respectful to people with different ways of thinking.
I adopted a 2-year-old who is now a grandfather. I looked after a teen after his mother died. So I have some experience. I just treated them like my other sons. It worked out okay.
I haven't been adopted, but I do have stepdad that raised me. And he treated me like his own. Not only in good way, like doing things with me and being loving and caring, pushing me into hobbies and treating my friends like gold. But he wasn't afraid to punish me and give boundaries, life lessons, teach me manners, being angry if I messed up. He didn't just leave the situation for my mom to handle. I wasn't adopted, but I was fostered by an amazing woman when I turned 15. She loved me relentlessly, even when I tried hard to push her away. She was always there when I decided to seek her attention, and never pressured me to do anything I wasn't ready for. I'm an adult now and aged out of the foster system, and she is still my biggest supporter. She always told me and her other girls that her only goal is to keep us until we go back to our families, get adopted, or age out of the system. She made it clear she has no intent to ever give up on anyone, no matter the circumstances. I love her less than 3. She's the mom I've always needed.
Maybe a small thing, but I have friends and family who were adopted, and the message they all appreciated was we could have adopted any kid in the world, but out of all of those options we chose you. It's a bit of a weird thought, but when you have kids of your own you have no idea what they'll be until it happens. When you adopt, you're making a clearer decision with more idea what you're getting into, so it shows a level of love and appreciation that you saw this person and decided, yes, I want to love and care for this particular kid. My parents adopted me around 16. I wasn't what they thought a good kid was. I wasn't perfect, but I was already out at that point. My dad is a pastor. There was a lot of shame involved. Basically, if you're thinking of adopting a teen, understand that they already have their personality and to not try to change them. It really fucked me up. It's a really scary time for us, and not feeling good enough is a lot more taxing when you have the notion that they might leave you because you ''t/can't change.
I am a child of a girl adopted as a teen. They used her as a maid, and it was not a loving home. Her adopted brother agrees how she was treated. She reached majority and left. She was given up for adoption at the age of 6. My mom had a rough life.
I have quite a bit of experience with situations like this. My best advice would be to be completely honest, and give age-appropriate info to the child as they grow. Let them know the more people to love them, the better. It's not like love is exclusive, one relative loves them, so that means another relative can't, or that their love replaces someone else's. It's additive, and let them talk. Don't ever be mad at them when they share things with you. Even if it means they broke rules. You can keep emotions out of it, show them you appreciate their honesty, and that there are consequences, all without getting mad or emotionally invested in an argument. Long hugs help smile. Good luck.
Your step-parents chose you over everyone else.
Adopted at 15 years, joined the army a year later. Patience, space, and let them come to you with their story. Sorry, coming from a teen adoptee, it never really works.
The Office S09E04.
I was adopted at 15. I found that patience, friendship, understanding and clear reasonable guidelines and boundaries went a long way with me. That and leading by example and making sure that you're not replacing a parent, but gaining another one. My kids these days have 3 grandmas and 2 grandfathers on my side alone.
https://www.youtube.com/what? V = XFR64 Zobdag.
Well. My BF and me. We're trying to adopt for years a teen guy. But for me that is so difficult. 'Cause I'm 22. So I can't support. Imagine that shit.
Don't try to fuck you stepmom or dad.
For the most part they were probably independent, relied on themselves and might not be able to cope with sudden structure in life. I'd though
do the opposite of what people do in pets cope.
Kinda sucks that only 2 answers actually answer the question. This isn't people who were adopted as 8-year-olds. This is about teens, you fucking illiterate attention whores.
Don't adopt. Just don't. I was my adopted, nor are any of my siblings adopted. But when I was 5 and at the doctor's, all my older siblings convinced me that I was adopted and I cried.
May they rest in peace. They were true saints.
This comment really helped. I'm planning on adopting when I'm a bit older and more financially stable to help provide for both me and my new kid. I've always wanted to adopt a kid since I was 10, and knowing I'm close to achieving a lifelong dream feels amazing. They sound so amazing. Truly heartwarming stuff. I am sorry to hear about your loss though. They both passed?
Thank you for this. I'm not yet in a position to do so, but I'd like to foster. I'm very sorry for your loss.
It sounds like their efforts were not wasted, and are very much appreciated. Thanks for sharing a bit of your life with us. F for your fallen angels, may they be helping troubled, scarred teens in heaven. May your foster parent rest in peace wherever they are now. It sounds like they were a good person.
Sounds like your foster parents were better than my biological parents, at least my father.
Man, she must be an incredibly patient and loving person.
I know this sounds way too simple, but this is what I picked up from your story. Treat kids like cats. The understanding is, to make the cat comfortable, let it be, and eventually the cat will start to come to you and start to like you on its own terms. Same with people. Let them come out of their shell on their own terms.
If you don't mind me asking, what's their relationship like now? She sounds like a sweet lady.
Your mom sounds like the kind of parent I'd hope to be one day.
I feel like this comment almost wraps up the whole thread.
Wow, your mom really must be an awesome person. I can't imagine how happy she, and all of you, felt when you all went to lunch.
Do you realize your mother was 1 in 10 million? She had patience that almost no one else on earth has. You and your siblings were lucky she came into your lives.
She should be teaching parenting skills and also presenting a TED Talk.
Your story brought tears to my eyes.
This is so sweet to read. Your mom sounds like a saint. You've only mentioned your mother's approach, but you said parents at the start. Did they both take the same approach? I'm glad things worked out well for you all. Smile.
This is extraordinary and your mom sounds wonderful.
I love your mom. She's a saint even if she's not perfect.
Hey, I don't know if you're the person to answer this. One of my big goals in life is to foster youth to adopt, but I'm very nervous about it. I don't want to just take on babies either, as I know they get placed pretty easy. Do you know of any books, movies etc. that accurately represent fostering? So far media is either super depressing or happy-go-lucky.
Your mom sounds like an absolute treasure. Cherish her.
Your mom is an angel.
Your answer is very well said. To go with the not trying to replace their mom, one of the best foster/adoptive parents I know had her kids call her Nana. It doesn't replace mom but is a term of endearment that works for her family. The now adult ones still talk about my Nana. She also was friendly with the birth parents where situations made it practical, obviously not all situations, and is still a friend and mentor with some of the birth parents to date.
My wife and I have 3 kids, all adopted. As a reminder to ourselves, years ago, we put a sticker on our fridge that says, "The kids who need the most love will ask for it in the most unloving of ways." Miraculously, this never really applied to our kids. They've never been especially antagonistic, much less wantonly insensitive or cruel. The opposite, really. But there's truth and wisdom in that sentiment. Not everyone gets as lucky as the 5 of us have been.
Oh wow. Obligatory thanks for Silver. This is my first smile. I went to sleep last night, and now this is my most successful comment. Thanks again. I'm editing this comment, haha. Now I have a helpful tag and a gold. I'll make sure to put the coins to good use, kind Redditor. Smile.
Bruh, you hit that shit perfect. Not adopted myself but damn does your brain work good.
Thank you for this. The wife and I are starting our adoption process and I am soaking this up like a sponge. I'm so happy you got adopted less than 3.
Wow. Even being not adopted, this comment hit me.
Thank you. I hope to one day adopt, and, as someone who has never had a kid, I am afraid of what to do when I'm able to adopt.
Can you explain a bit more about how this works when you're 18? In your country, is this legal adult age?
My adopted son called me dad from the beginning. He has never seemed curious about his birth father. We have never discussed the adoption with my other sons. It's possible that they don't know their elder brother is their stepbrother.
You say you have secrets from your parents. How do you feel about your parents opening up to you? I mean, I have had some brutal experiences that I would never tell my kids about. Do you think it's better that all that is kept secret? My soul gave her baby up for adoption and then had 2 others. Is it better for them to be kept in the dark? I just think that stuff tends to come out over time and I wonder if it's better to tell the truth early rather than wait until everyone is shocked and upset when they learn about it.
Testicle biter. What the hell?
It does not sound silly.
What happened to make you regret your actions? How was your relationship when you became an adult? My daughter, who was adopted at an older age, seems to mostly dislike our family and takes out her anger at her biological family on us. I have a hard time picturing what our relationship in the future when she is an adult could look like if she never stops being unpleasant to us unless we are giving her something.
So many people need to realize this. A child is not a solution to a problem. It's not something you have to have so your parents can have grandkids. The only reason to have a child is because you want one.
Would you say it's reasonable to foster if you think you want to adopt but aren't 100% and then adopt the kid you're fostering when you're sure? That sucks. You were just being playful. probably finally felt comfortable enough to be goofy and silly and then got shot down for it. Hope that didn't stop your playful spirit completely. Little kids love that and somebody older than them.
I'm almost 28 and my fiancé and I were considering adopting. Should we choose to adopt a teenager and they tell me they want to watch cartoons, then we are totally watching cartoons. I'd even show them some of my favorites if they were interested.
This is a great story. Thank you for sharing.
This might sound dumb. But how do I get started with volunteering at a youth center? As a volunteer for about 5 hours a week, what are my daily tasks like? Perhaps, people weren't adopted as teens. Or, people adopted as teens haven't yet seen this post.
Yes, me too.
This is my dream too. I honestly want to adopt anyone who wants it, whether they are a teen or in their 20s. Even older if they don't miss that I may be younger than them. Everyone needs family.
Wait, what? You adopted a 2-year-old who's now a grandfather? What's the story? Some would be an understatement.
Even if all you're getting is 3 square and a bed, it beats life on the street. Sorry for your experience, but don't do this. Don't ruin this for others.
Please explain why you mentioned this episode.
I really hope this was meant to be in response to a comment, not to up, 'cause your mind is in a dark place if you think adopting a teen is automatically creepy.
To be fair, the person that was adopted as an 8-year-old, they had teenage siblings who were also adopted by the same people and were offering as much perspective as they could. So chill, smile.
Yo, chill. You ain't gotta say it like that.
You're lucky it ain't worse since there is no serious tag.
Why? Ed, I legitimately want to know if you have a serious reason. I know some people are anti-adoption, and as someone who wants to adopt I want the fullest picture I can have, even negative ideas of it. The birth family isn't always the best for the children. I don't think so that all things can be worked out.
Drug abuse on the parents' side, emotional, physical, sexual abuse. A car crash. There are many things that can be improved, but not everyone wants to change, and there are things where there's no coming back from. Family aren't those you share blood with, family are the ones you share an unbreakable bond with.
What if they can't be with their birth families? Did you consider this?
I'm not sorry they were adopted. I'm glad they were adopted, as it seems obvious that the birth family was unfit or not present. Certain things cannot be worked out. Favorite colors, food preferences, and curfews can be worked out. Violence, sexual abuse, and neglect cannot be worked out.
What if everyone in their birth family keeps doing drugs and dying?
Same. I don't want my own biological kids but would love to have a home that feels safe for a foster or an adoption one day.
Could be using singular they to describe a single parent.
I've actually heard this direct comparison for teenagers. Give them their space, gently offer what they need, and let them come to you. This works for traumatized dogs too.
It's great, honestly. I was the easiest one for them, so they say. Probably BC I was much younger and opened up decently quick. I was the only girl, so I clung to my mom pretty fast. But yay, we're pretty much a normal family with normal problems, but we love each other. And if this means anything, none of us have any desire to seek out our birth parents. We're all pretty content here. Thank you for watching. We publish amazing Reddit stories every day. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe to keep the dog smiling.